Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about endothermic and exothermic systems. So the big idea is what is happening to water molecules when they absorb energy or when they release energy. So you boil water or you use ice every day. This topic will help us to visualize what happens to water molecules when they freeze or when you boil them. So when you boil the water, you see the bubbles are coming out and you see the water vapor. And when you freeze it, it takes a structured shape. They become the molecules become closer and they make a geometric shape. And recently, scientists discovered a point that you can have solid, liquid, and gas at the same time. Here, I want to pause the video and I want to show this material, how it looks like solid, liquid, and gas at the same time. So, in the video, they talk about the triple point. Triple point is at the temperature. If you find the correct temperature and the correct pressure, you can have both solid phase, liquid phase, and vapor phase at the same time. And that is the scientists discovered here. If you apply the right pressure and right temperature, you can have all liquid, vapor, and solid phase at the same time. So that is quite interesting discovery. Today we will talk about exothermic and endothermic systems. Exothermic means energy or heat release. It is exiting the system. It is going out. X means exit. You can remember maybe that way. The heat is releasing from the system. Heat is going out. Endothermic means energy or heat absorb. So energy or heat goes into the system. So one example may be cooking. When you need to cook, you need to heat it up, right? So cooking is an endothermic process because it absorbs the heat. So this is the diagram we are going to fill up in your study package. So that's how we show the endothermic and exothermic reaction. So you start with A, and when this A releases the energy, it forms B. For example, fire, right? Fire is releases the heat and fire turns into ashes, right? That is exothermic reaction, exothermic system. Endothermic means you start with something, for example ice. It takes the energy, you heat it up, and you end up something else. So you start with ice, it takes the energy, and it is melted and it turns into liquid. Cooking, baking, melting, vaporizing are all about endothermic system. Fire, condensation, freezing, they are examples for the exothermic system. Now we will talk about phase changes. Let's say we will talk about the water as an example. Water can be gas, liquid, or solid. And that is that is the symbol we use to describe gas, liquid, or solid. So from gas, the solid, it releases the heat. If the gas lose the heat, it is called exothermic. But if the solid takes the heat, it is called endothermic. If the solid takes to heat, it's going to melt, it will become liquid. If the liquid takes the heat, if the heat goes into the system, it's going to become gas. So from gas to solid, it is called exothermic. From solid to gas, it's called endothermic. So if it is going from gas to liquid, this is how rain happens. The water vapor condensing and it turns into rain. This is an exothermic example. Or if it is liquid and if it lose some heat, if it lose some energy, it's gonna turn into solid. We call it freezing or solidification. If it happens very fast, if it suddenly goes from the gas to solid, this is called deposition. This is called deposition. If we are going to other way, from solid to liquid, we are melting, right? Melting the ice, also called fusion. If you are going from liquid to gas, it is called vaporization. If it suddenly change from solid to gas, it calls sublimation. And from solid to gas, it is endothermic. From gas to solid, it is exothermic. So here I want to stop the video and I want to show you some simulations how the particles move, and then we are going to stop for our practice questions.